say this all say this all the time. I really just want to take her and put her in my pocket because her introductions are amazing. I'm going to share my screen. Zoom has definitely done an update this morning, so we're gonna hopefully you can see me and the screen as
Yes.
we go forward. So before we dive in, I really wanted to give you a heads up. I like these to be as interactive as possible. So if there is a problem or a question, please enter that in the chat. Erlene and Linda are here and can help navigate the chat for us and stop me if I need to stop. And I'm also going to be asking you guys questions as we go through, and I would encourage you all to be brave and answer the questions as honestly as you're capable of answering. Um, Hold on, let me pull up the chat real quick on my screen because I actually, as we're diving into this, I have a worksheet for everyone that I want. You can use it to take notes. You can use it, it's actually designed to help you create your plan. And as we go through, we'll start using some of those pieces. So, my first question for everyone is where are you officially right now as we end quarter 2? Where are you at with your business goals? Are you on track and feeling focused? Are you a little off track, but you're really regrouping and ready to go? Or maybe you're feeling like, what track? I lost it somewhere in quarter 1. I'd love for you to pop into the chat and just let us know where you're at with your business and with your scaling for this year. It helps us to then determine what we're going to do with you guys further. Um, I also, at the end of this training, open up the floor and workshop things for you. So if you have questions or problems about paid traffic or any other aspect of your digital marketing, I'm happy to jump in. As we start this, you probably already know that you need a strategy. And a lot of times people feel like everyone else has cracked the code and they're just stuck in trial and error. And honestly, the gurus keep telling you to just show up more. But who has time to post all the time or go live or comment and cross your fingers that something actually works? If this feels like you, this is the place for you because paid traffic can be the game changer for you. It is how business owners scale their business. If you've ever wondered about those top players, those industry people that you follow the most, that is how paid traffic is how they ramp up from those different points that we're all looking to hit. They're not just lucky, they're using a system to do the heavy lifting for them. And the reality is you can too. It doesn't have to be difficult. So I want to avoid this session being just another, you know, training. I'd like for you to learn to implement what you're learning. So, are you, when it comes to paid traffic, are you a newbie? Have you tried it? Have you, but maybe watched a little, but not really sure where you're at? Or have you spent some money and just not gotten the results you need? If you've done any of those things, this training is, or if you're a newbie, this training is really going to help you to move to that next level in paid traffic. I want to start this like diving into the training piece, talking about the hidden cost of hustle. Because for those of you that don't know me, I actually ran a multi six-figure full service digital marketing agency for over a decade. And I will be honest, I hustled my butt to burnout. And that honestly is the hidden cost of hustling. It is the trying to do everything and be everywhere all of the time. It is a roadmap directly to burnout. I had a client Jenna, who was She had built a strong organic business, right? She had done all of the things the gurus had said, posting online, getting engagement, being online constantly. And by the time she came to me, she was exhausted. Every day revolved around creating content or managing her DMs or showing up in stories, or she just felt like she was constantly on the verge of slipping. There's something moving. A ball was going to be missed. And she told me she was working harder than ever, but just didn't know how much longer she could do it. She was looking to streamline your business. And that might sound a little familiar to a lot of people. So we shifted her approach. Instead of trying to push harder, we implemented a smarter strategy. We created a micro offer for her particular funnel, which is a low ticket offer that people pay to be on your email list, that attracted buyers, not just lookers, because honestly, that happens a lot in ads. And for her, the game changed completely. That tiny lead gen offer didn't just alter or offset her ad budget, it started to turn a profit for her. And it opened up the space for her to be able to create 24K a month in revenue on autopilot without having to be everywhere all of the time. Now, I'm also going to say this. I'm not saying that you can give up social media posting entirely and just use paid ads, because organic does support the paid, paid does support the organic. And when you dial in a strategy around your paid traffic, you're able to ramp up your growth at a much more rapid pace. You don't have to burn out to scale. You just need the right system behind the scenes working for you. So this is where we're striving into the 4 steps, the 4 parts of paid traffic. Before I talk about the steps, I want to talk about why a framework is important. Because most people who are struggling with ads aren't struggling because they chose the wrong platform or because Facebook is glitchy or the algorithm. The reality is most people struggle because they either don't know their audience, or their funnel is broken, or their messaging is off. Those pieces are so essential to really running effective ads. They often are struggling because they're trying to run ads without a plan and no real strategy, no system, no follow-up, just this hope, this idea. Someone told them just run ads, like just run your paid traffic. It's not a problem. But traffic isn't magic, and it's not going to fix a broken system. Traffic is math, it's messaging, it's numbers, and it requires a clear process that works at every stage of your buying journey. So this framework is going to give you clarity and direction and really help you to create ads that will be productive and profitable. I promise you, ads can be profitable if they're done right. So step 1, clarify your strategy. This step is everything when it comes to your paid traffic. I've seen so many smart, talented entrepreneurs make mistakes thinking ads are just about targeting or budget or visual. But if you're not clear on what you do, who you work for, how you transform their lives, your ads are going to fail every time. Paid traffic doesn't fix unclear messaging. It doesn't fix a broken funnel, and it certainly won't fix you not knowing the problem that you solve. So think of this as the foundation to the house that you want to build when it comes to your business. This is the key piece, and it's why it's step one. So if you open up your workbook, you'll see in there that I've added these pieces. In your strategy, you need to identify your ideal client profile. Who is this really for? And I want you to get deep and granular about this. This isn't a top level, I work with women who are 25 to 30, and I don't, whatever your person is. We want to get really deep. The other piece is, what stage of their journey are they in right now? When they see your ad, where are they at in their journey with you? What are they already aware of? What are they searching for? What is their problem? What is the thing that you solve? Your core offer has to be connected directly to a problem they have, or your ads are not going to reach them. So, is your core offer a nice to have, or is it a must have? Does it solve a clear, urgent, high value problem? Is it the is the transformation obvious? And does it hit them on an emotional level? Because another secret that I tell people all the time is, people don't buy based on logic. They don't buy based on price, honestly, 90% of the time. But they buy based on the emotional connection they have to either solving the problem they have or you as the service provider. So make sure that your offer is that must have that will change their life. Then we're going to dive into step two, which is clarifying your client journey. Here's the thing. I don't know how much you guys understand client journeys. They're often called sales funnels. Sometimes they're called, funnels, or they might be called, there's a whole, the reason it's called a funnel is because people start at awareness and then they move down into your buying journey. When you're running ads, you have to be aware of who you're targeting at every stage of that client journey. So are they I love to break this down into really understandable pieces. So if we look at it from a dating perspective, this is a metaphor I use all the time when it comes to marketing and funnels. Are they at the introduction phase? They don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. They may not even know they have a problem. That's the awareness phase. That messaging needs to be completely different than the message for the person who is at maybe the dating phase, which is where they've given you their email address and they've downloaded whatever your lead magnet is. That messaging is completely different from the bottom of the funnel, which is where I call commitment phase, which is they're ready to buy. Like, they love everything you do, all of the interactions they have had with you. And each of those phases requires you to be different in their messaging. You have to understand what they're thinking at each of those phases so you can tap into a message that really will bring them into buying, so that they will go from cold to warm to hot and become your ideal client. Being incredibly clear about your client journey is essential. One of my clients, Dr. Pete, when he came to me, he was really great. His top of the funnel message was fantastic. He was bringing in clients. He had grown his email list to about 15,000 people, and he was making money. The problem is that his customer journey wasn't great. It left a lot of people who stepped into that cold audience that didn't know who he was, didn't understand his products or his services, his solution. And and kind of left them sitting there. He was attracting people with his ads, but if they didn't buy immediately, honestly, it was almost like he was ghosting them. So, what our first step was addressing each step of the client journey and the ads that followed them. The results, he went from $33 cost per lead to $6 cost per lead. Now imagine the amount of money that you can reinvest when you drop your cost per lead down that much. And the best part, his revenue, his monthly revenue, we spent $5,000 in ads a month. He was creating $37,000 in revenue every month. That ROI is amazing. And paid ads can definitely do that, but only if your client journey, your customer journey is clear and that every step of the ad follows that journey so that you're bringing people into your world when they're ready for you and moving them clearly down a path to buying. I said earlier, ads will never fix a broken funnel. If you have had a funnel, if you've created a funnel and you've never had anyone actually buy from you from that funnel, I would avoid running ads to that funnel until you clarify that journey to the point where you're actually bringing in buyers through it. Running ads can just be a waste of money. Step 3 are those scroll stopping ads. That is such a tongue twister for me. This is where, once you've clarified your strategy and you've crafted your ideal client journey, you really want to focus on the copy and creatives when it comes to your ads. I will tell you right now, in the ad world, your targeting is still important and it is becoming less important as AI develops, as the algorithms get better, as Facebook and LinkedIn and Google all start really getting better at positioning you. Your message and your creatives become so much more important. You must have ads that stop the scroll. So you have to have creatives that are going to get people engaged. And you have to have messaging that is actually targeting the right person at the right stage in business. So you might be thinking about that business or those ads that you've seen. If you step back and think about those ads that you've seen in the past, what was it about them that stopped you in your tracks, right? Like you're like, oh, I either clicked on the ad or I've looked at the ad or it just stopped the screen as the scroll goes by. Really start paying attention to those. I always encourage my clients to screenshot the ads that catch their attention, because reality is if it catches your attention, it is likely to catch your ideal client's attention. Then once you do that, we start breaking down what it was that captured your attention. Was it the image? Was it the message on the image? Was it the lack of image? I've seen that a lot in ads right now, that they're not even putting out an image with the ad. They're just putting out a message, which makes dialing in your message so much more important. Once you have that type of thing dialed in, it creates a stop point and then allows your clients or potential clients to click on the ad. That cost, those costs to your cost per click, is one of those things that we really monitor when we're running ads. We look at the back end. I will tell you right now, ads are all about data. Like, all of the information you get is about data. So just because you might love a message or love an image or love the ad or even the funnel, the data tells you whether or not you're really doing it well. So if you have an ad that's getting a really low cost per click, you are better able to ramp up that ad. That ad is getting attention. You know that either your message or your creative is working. These are the things that are going to help you. Now, I also want to dive into a hook because your messaging isn't just your story and isn't necessarily long form. Your hook is the first line, the line on the image, the headline. It's the thing that grabs the attention of your audience and it makes them go, wait, what did I just see? Like that actually sounded like me or felt like me, or I totally resonate with that ad. I need to know more. A great hook speaks directly to your audience's pain points, desires, or curiosities. It creates an emotional spark immediately. So think of your hook almost like that, maybe the front door. It doesn't sell the whole house, and it does make someone want to see the house. So when you are creating the hook, remember that we start with the core problem. How do you solve that problem for somebody? What is their problem? And then map that back into a way that smacks them in the face. I will say right now in ads, and all of this requires testing, my friends, because your audience, your business is different from everybody else's. Right now, a lot of what's working in the ad industry are disruptive hooks. They're the things that smack people in the face. Like I've got a client that's running ads right now that says your med spa is failing because, like, that stops the med spa owner of like, wait, I feel like my med spa is failing and why? Those kind of things just shifts their point of view and allows you to then step into the ads, their problem, which then allows you to shift into how you can help them solve your problem. Your hooks are essential pieces. They are going to help you create that initial connection. So one of my favorite hooks for one of my clients is most coaches waste money on ads because of this one mistake. She does not run ads at all. She doesn't have an ad agency, but that hook brings them in to help them establish the pieces of their business that actually will help them grow. Step 4, launch, scale, and optimize. Once you've clarified your strategy, you've created your customer journey, and it actually brings in buyers, and you've created scroll stopping ads, the next thing is to test it. I said this a little while ago, ads aren't about throwing money out there and just seeing what happens. Ads are very much a scientific process. We develop a hypothesis, we test it, we look at the data, we adjust from there. Being able to launch your ads, look at how they're interacting, and make adjustments will help you to really grow your business. So when we're talking about scaling ads, that's about adding money to ads. So you found a winner, let's pour money onto that fire, bring in more leads, more buyers. If you've found a loser, we get to turn it off. It happens. I'm telling you right now, nobody launches ads and they're 100% perfect. It's just not the way the world works. That hypothesis, whatever that hypothesis was that you started with, may need adjustment along the way. So we test different hooks, we test different images, we test different types of imaging. I've had clients whose audiences only responded to video, and other clients whose audiences only responded to images. You won't know that until you've launched your ad. Optimization is really understanding what's working within the ad and what isn't, and making adjustments from there. This step is probably, well, it is the longest step, quite honestly, because you are constantly scaling and optimizing your ads. You're constantly making adjustments along the way. This is a long-term process. I will also tell you, ads may or may not work immediately. If you've dialed in your messaging and know exactly who you are, and you know your clients, and you know how they're going to react to an ad, and your funnel is completely dialed in to buyers, absolutely that can work. I had a client, Heather, come to me, and she had her original funnel was bringing in people to a sales call. And while it worked, it was a really long process and it didn't feel good for her. It also required her to hire a salesperson because she had life to do as well and couldn't be on every sales call. So we readjusted her funnel. We created a micro offer that then led to a $497 offer that led to a $1,000 offer that eventually led to her $12,000 offer. In that process, she got to get rid of all of her sales process. So there were no more sales calls, there was no more salesperson. This process, though, was all about testing. We launched an idea. It worked. And then we scaled it to the point where, again, her micro offer is making her money. Not a ton, it mainly offsets, but the rest of her funnel makes her money. And at the end of the day, she is currently bringing in $50K a month in revenue. That's the kind of things we can do when we run ads. And they're not for everyone. You might not be ready for ads yet, and that is perfectly fine. I want this training to help you really become aware of maybe where you're not ready, or maybe where you are, so that we can dial that in more. Now let's talk about platforms, because I know this is something that people ask me all the time. Are Facebook and Instagram ads, or TikTok ads, or LinkedIn ads, or Google ads, which one should I use? Reality is, this isn't as easy of a question as you think it should be. It is all dependent on where your ideal clients hang out. There is not one ad platform that is better than another. It is all dependent on who you're trying to attract and how you're going to interact with them. If you are a coach, Google Ads probably aren't the best option for you, because the likelihood that someone is out there searching for a life coach isn't really high. So when we talk about Google Ads versus LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, we're talking about search engine marketing versus interruption marketing. Search engine marketing is all about people actually typing them in. I always like to, this might age me, I'm not sure how old everyone is in the room, but search engine marketing is like the Yellow Pages. People were actively looking for that plumber, that painter, that baker, whatever. If you are not selling something that someone is actively looking for, you want to use interruption marketing. And that can be on every platform: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of them have interruption marketing. That's more like a TV ad, right? You're sitting in front of a TV, again, aging, because a lot of people don't have ads on their TV anymore, but whatever. You're sitting in front of the TV and the McDonald's commercial comes up and you're like, ooh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go to McDonald's. I wouldn't, but whatever. Some people do. Or that that new item at, to make your life easier comes online and you're like, ooh, I wonder if Target has this. That's interruption marketing. If you're a coach or a consultant and your ideal clients aren't searching for your product, service, or solution, interruption marketing is the essential piece to your business. So then you are looking at places like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter and most of the other platforms. Then we step back and we go, okay, where do your ideal clients hang out? I will tell you, most people hang out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, honestly. You're able to hit a very wide market on those platforms. They're not the only platforms. LinkedIn, if your ideal clients spend the majority of their time on LinkedIn, tap into those ads. If you feel comfortable doing TikTok ads, because TikTok is a whole other platform, and I will also say still kind of up in the air on whether or not it's going to be in the US forever, definitely tap into those. You really want, it takes you all back to that strategy, to step one of who is it that you're targeting and where are they spending their time? That will help you to decide where you should advertise. What should your budget be? This also is not as easy of a question to answer as most people think. I get it. You want a specific number. You want a straight answer. And the truth is, the number isn't as cut and dry as you might think. There isn't a one-size-fits-all budget because your ad spend depends on a couple of things: your goals, your industry, your offer price, and realistically, your overall numbers. So I'm going to break this down real quick for you. Let's say that your offer is a $2,000 coaching package. Industry standards is usually, if you've never run ads before, this is what we go by, industry standards. For example, if you need 10 leads to get one client, that's a 10% conversion rate. Now, you get to look at your cost per lead. So if your 10 leads cost you $10 per lead, that's $100. So if you get those 10 leads and that converts into one client and you've made $2,000, $100 is a good price for that. Reality is that's not reality. On average, about 1 to 3% of the people you bring in actually buy from you, which means if you are bringing in 1%, you need 100 leads to get one buyer. So you're looking at $1,000 at a $10 cost per lead. That's the type of math that comes in when we're looking at what your budget needs to be. I also want to kick around some myths that go around budgets, because honestly, a lot of times people think you need thousands of dollars to start. And I will tell you right now, if you are going to hire an agency, you need at least $10,000 a month to do that. It is a most good agencies are $5,000 a month retainer fee, $5,000 a month in ad spend. However, if you learn to do it yourself to start off with, a lot of my clients can start at that $10 to $30 range and scale up per day, which is about $300 to $900 a month, and scale up from there. They don't have the agency fee because they've learned from me how to do this. The other myth is that you spend more to scale up. Reality is more money on an unproven funnel or unproven messaging is just wasted money. You only start spending more when you actually see the results that you've been looking for. So when you've dialed in the message and the creatives and the funnel itself, That's when you get to start adding more money in there. Before that, avoid trying to just throw money at the wall testing. You can test with a very small budget and really get a lot of information from that if you know what you're looking at. Also, budget is not the only thing that matters. You could spend $10,000 a month on ads and still get 0 results. Spend your time perfecting your message, your funnel, your sales process before you try and scale with ads. So whether you're starting at $500 a month or $5,000 a month, what matters most is that your strategy is clear, your messaging is aligned, you know your audience, and you're bringing in the right people, not just lookers, the buyers, and that you know and understand the numbers that follow. So this is where we get to dive into workshopping. I actually didn't do bad. It's 11:45, so we're pretty much on time. I always offer at the end of this a strategy scale or strategy call, whether that's you're ready for ads or if you have a different digital marketing question. This QR code and link, and I'll copy the link into the chat once I get out of this, will allow you to get on my schedule. I have openings Friday and Monday to talk about this, and I would love to help you if you are thinking about running ads or if you're confused about your funnel or your messaging or at any point in your business and you're looking to really take that next level. Please feel free to hop on my schedule. Now, I want to make sure that we have enough time to actually have discussions.